What's up, everyone? Thanks again for joining us, and welcome to the second half of the first round of the 2018 Maiden Shade Open. Got my buddy Scott Ryther in the studio, so we're having fun up here.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. Gonna see some interesting holes here on the back half, and you guys are in for a treat. Gets a little windy, spoiler alert. All right, we're on hole 13. This is a par 3, fairly short. You want to hit this gap right here with a hyzer, and it is a pretty steep hyzer, I'd say. So most people are probably throwing, Firebirds off the tee or something like that. I mean, if you're in
Oh, whoops. Now there's a Mando. If you see the yellow sign over on the right, and I don't know if it was called a Mando in the tournament or not, but there is definitely a Mando tree over there.
That was a really nice drive there. Really good stuff, and you can see how angled his disc was and how narrow he cut it on that tree, and it just parked it. That's how you want to play this hole. Got the Mando.
Yeah, super scary throwing a turn over there. I go forehand being a lefty. So you see House taking a provisional. So he's winding around the tree and then taking it from the Mando.
And then right there, that putt we just saw, that was from a drop zone, if I remember right?
Yeah, I don't know if these guys knew exactly if it was a Mando or not, so they played it both ways.
Solid putt there from Taylor, trying to make it happen, so close. Kraig with the tap in. Two-handed putt. Very nice, Taylor. I love it. Never seen it before.
So when House is playing his provisional, he essentially has to finish the hole twice, take two scores, and then once he gets back and talks with the tournament director, he decides what his score was, depending on which one was correct.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, it looked like that was a 4 either way. So.
Yeah, and I think it's a Mando for sure. So okay. I think that's going to be the rule.
All right, we're on to hole 14 here. At 220 feet, this hole plays a lot longer than that. What do you think about this one, buddy?
Yep, pretty tight, straight shot, and yeah, it's easy to short. The grass is really grippy. There's some height to work with, so if you stand something up like this, it's a pretty common shot. Wow. Yeah, it's not that easy.
It just made it look really easy.
Also a very nice shot.
Yeah, these guys are putting on a clinic for this hole. Very, very good stuff. It's a little bit of trouble there on the right side. Those bushes are pretty thick, but hopefully he can find a look to the basket there. Just some great work from our card here. Yeah, hit a little limb, unfortunately. Nice. David probably feels good about that too, after the confusion on the previous hole, so back into gear.
Nothing's a gimme when it's this windy.
Yeah, you can see that flag there and all those. Gosh, just blowing so hard. Super tailwind for that putt. Yeah. So I got to putt fast or high, either one. All right. Looks like Kraig is kind of peeling off there, making that lead a little bit stronger. Definitely nice to see. You can see his line there. It was just such a perfect ace run. So good. All right, looking at hole 15. What do you got here for us, Scott?
530 feet. There's woods, trouble on the right, and then there's actually water not too far in. Left side's wide open, so you can get aggressive and try to stay close to the woods and have a nice upshot, or you can just put one out wide too. With it being this windy, I think people are going to end up a little bit, I would think a little bit wide. It looks like Kraig has turned one into the woods, but had a fortunate kick.
Yeah. If I remember right, the wind was just blowing, just crashing into those trees. So, I mean, it was a left to right wind, but, I mean, it was swirly in there, so difficult to read. Yeah. And that kind of looked like a mistake there, but that's like you said, Scott, that's pretty common. You go too far left there and then have an upshot.
Wow. That was a good look from there.
That was really good.
That's pretty decent there, as long as you get past the tall trees and get into there.
Yeah, tough upshot.
Yeah, the wind's just ripping.
Mm-hmm.
So even though house was a ways away, I mean, he was out in the open, so he had a pretty open look.
Definitely. That was really good, especially with that wind.
Oh, no.
Oh. Fairway. Oh, gosh. That wind picked that right up. Oh, my gosh. Oh, no. Yep, there you go. Just a lot of that the whole day. I would say everybody had a good number of putts that just went awry. I think if I remember correctly, some wind on this day was clocked at 35 miles an hour. Just absolutely insane.
Yeah, and it wasn't consistent. It was swirling. Out here on these open holes, especially where there's no woods, it gets really windy coming off the water and off the field there.
Nice 3 from David there.
Yeah,
Really
that's
well played.
huge.
Absolutely. You can see the size of his upshot was almost the size of his drive.
What's up with Taylor's sleeves? What's going on there?
He's about to take off, man. He's about to fly away. All right, moving on to hole 16 here. This is a long one as well. Strategy on this one is there's a tree on the left side, and there's actually water to contend with if you go a little bit long on the left. So you just want to pump one out there and make sure you don't go too far left.
Yeah, pretty pretty much the same shot as the last one, but you do have a tree on the left here to contend with. There's a road up over the berm that I've played here, and they called it OB. It is not OB here, so it's a safe shot to just kind of get out in the open.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and just like we saw there, it's decently safe to put one close to the right side of the fairway here, because those limbs that hang over are likely to kick you back into the fairway. So
Taylor's throwing something just crazy stable and just crushing. It seems to be working out pretty well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, did that hit the tree? Yeah. That's unfortunate.
Pretty good spot, though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. Yeah, he had a good distance to go, but that was a solid upshot.
Just a little strong.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is getting high, but it's looking good. No, I thought that was going to be a putter Anheuser the whole way. Yeah.
Great shot.
That was very cool.
Yeah, you can see these guys are kind of throwing similar shots from the last hole.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good spot to be.
Definitely. And I mean, open looks and 35, 40 feet away, and they're laying up. It just goes to show how windy it was. Solid.
Yeah, nice putt.
Definitely. Wow, that was a tap-in 3. That upshot was just really, really great there from Taylor, so had the privilege of taking that tap-in 3.
Yep, threes are good. Tap-ins are nice in this wind.
Mm-hmm. Taylor making a move on the card. Good job, buddy. Got Kraig still leading at 2 down. And we are moving into another long hole here. What do you think about this one, man? I mean, I don't really see much strategy other than just pump it up there, right?
Yep, wide open. Not a lot of OB. Actually, I don't think there's any OB in play on this, so you just try to get one straight, and then it's really all about your upshot, your second shot, getting it close. And it's on a little hill, but pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm. Oh no! That left to right, man, got him good.
Wow.
That's decent.
Come on, lefty.
Always rooting for the lefties.
I just didn't get it turned enough.
Yeah.
But in a decent spot.
Yeah, I can't say it enough. I mean, just have to keep mentioning the wind. It's just really coming into play on every single shot, and I bet you these guys probably shot, anywhere from 5 to 10 strokes better on their practice rounds, because the weekend before, it was just perfectly calm, 0 mile an hour wind. So if any of these guys practiced the weekend before, I mean, it wasn't a good representation of what they were up against today.
Yeah, this is a brutal part of the course if the wind's blowing like this. So stable up, get it close.
Definitely a couple hyzers. Nice. Good bid. I really like that. Didn't have much to worry about on the back side of that basket, so just taking it away.
Hmm. I think everybody's happy to move on.
Yeah.
Move on to the next hole.
That stretch of the last 3 holes is just brutal. Super long holes, super windy. Probably the longest 3 holes and the windiest 3 holes. Is that sleeve again? Love it. Back to a 2-stroke difference. These guys are really keeping it tight here.
Hole number 18, 220 feet. There's some trees right in the middle of the fairway, so you've got 2 options: go left, go right. But you don't want to go too deep on this one. It's pretty easy to get deep.
Left it a little short there. Definitely easy to get deep, like you said. The other misconception is that the basket's right behind that bunch of trees. It's still 40 away from the back of those trees there.
Yeah, and there's a couple hills, so it's a great shot. I tend to go a little deep on it, just trying to kind of go spike hyzer. See what Mike does here. It's tough because there's not a lot of skips out there, so you gotta be accurate on your shot. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice putt.
Cleaning up here. This one's a disappointing 3. Just to say from my own experience. It's like you don't see where your disc lands, so good shot you can walk up to what you thought was a good shot and it just be that 33 away.
Yeah, when it's not windy, definitely a must get is what you feel like when you're walking up to it.
Hole number 19. This is a par 3, and most guys I'd say are probably taking a mid-range to this one if they've got a good arm or a fairway driver. I don't think many people are throwing the big spike hyzer on this one because I mean it's right there, and you've got a little mound, so if you can keep it at a decent height, it's pretty much just going to skip up there and not go too far away.
They have this basket strategically placed on a mound, which is good because it's really just a wide open hole. So you got to get close, and if you leave yourself at circle's edge or outside the circle, you're gonna have a pretty tricky putt.
Yeah, absolutely, well said. And it's definitely easy to if you airball the putt, it's definitely easy to be equally as distant away. Equally as far away with the comeback. So
it's a good putt.
David's just killing it with the putts. Ooh, a little high, but connects it again, and Kraig is trying to get the last little bit of a breakaway for a lead here, coming into the last few holes. Amazing. That was like NBA style. That was Globetrotters right there from our good buddy Taylor. All right. We got a 3-way tie there at 1 down, and Kraig is probably feeling a little bit more comfortable going into the last few holes here. And this one is tricky.
Yeah, you got a little pond here. Pretty short hole. But when it's windy, it's tough. It's kind of one of those things, you know, do you throw a putter? Do you throw a mid-range? We'll see what these guys do. And I think the basket is only maybe 15, 20 past the water.
Oh, did that hit
He
metal?
just hit the ball.
Wow. That's a good drive. Nice lefty line.
Good shot.
Very good shot. I'd say that's probably the most common play. It's the forehand over the water.
Yep, that's the preferred lane. It's just right over the top. The only danger is getting slammed down, possibly in the water, but it's not a very far hole.
Yeah, and plus you've kind of got a backboard there, so if you can pass the water, I mean. Oh, that's unfortunate there. Solid. Had a right to left wind and tailwind, so it was like crossing over his shoulder. That was a difficult one, even though it was close. Fine camera work here. Look at that. Very pretty drive. Thanks, Taylor, for that awesome drive. And now we are moving into the last hole of the round. Oh no, this is the last hole of the course. My apologies, last hole of the course. But we started on 3, so we've got this one and hole 1 and hole 2 left to go. Walk through the strategy on this one, buddy.
210 feet. It's got a slight slope to the left, so just trying to get it close. Forehand's probably pretty common on this because you can come into that bank.
True, yeah. And it's not OB past that path, so.
It is not.
Super good.
Yep.
Like that a lot.
Good lefty hole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, nice putt. A lot of righties are pretty much ending up right here where Taylor is. Trying to keep it on top of this plateau-looking thing, but not too far away. So if you get a little out of hand on the right side, then I mean you're having an equally far comeback.
Nice putt.
Oh yeah, nice too. Oh, there's me. Couldn't see me because I'm wearing all black.
A nice fresh haircut too.
Thank you, sir.
Looking good.
I had to look good just in case I was in the footage. Another forehand slow-mo. This guy's good at those forehands. All right, closing it in. Taylor's doing a good job of scratching his way back up. And we're moving on to hole 1, or the penultimate hole. All right, I really don't know what to do on this one, to tell you the truth. I mean, the way that I see it and just my personal strategy is I like to hyzer over that pond, but then when people see me do that, they're like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah, it's 180 feet. I mean, it's right there. It's a lot of guys are just going to throw a putter. Maybe something stable since it's windy. Let's see how the lefty attacks. It looks like he's got a mid-range in his hand. Might be a
putter. Yeah, I don't know. If I could play this hole a few more times, I think I'd be just taking a putter straight at it like these guys are doing. Yeah.
Interesting story on this one. Critter, if anybody knows Critter, Chris Meyer, we were finishing on this hole. This is our last hole of the tournament. He took one disc to the tee, and it was his Rampage. And, yeah, he didn't really care. He just was going to go throw his Rampage and walk off the course and be done. And just go spike hyzer, 180-foot hole, just right in the heart of the chains.
Wow.
Never had a chance of missing. So he aced a 180-foot hole with a Rampage.
Nice. Very cool. Kraig looking to connect this 2 here. Yep, no problem for him. He's really on a roll.
Yeah, he's putting real solid.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and in this wind, confidence is key, man, and he's keeping that confidence up. Taylor with a pretty difficult putt here. Yeah. I don't know if it was easy to tell, but that limb was hanging down pretty much right in his line. So that's why he had to step out.
House casually putts in.
Mm-hmm.
On to the last hole.
There we go. Now we're on to the last hole. There we go again. Strong lead by Kraig. The last hole is probably my favorite hole of the whole course. I mean, there's a ton of variation on this course. I love the entire course, to be honest, but this one is just so picturesque. It's so nice. I mean, you have to go over this really pretty pond right at the beginning and, I don't know, turn over a putter probably, right?
Yeah, you see some putters and some mids, but it's really right there. You got a lane to hit and a birdhouse to miss.
I bet that birdhouse gets knocked down a lot.
Looked like Mike was trying a mid-range hyzer and just went a little too straight.
Yeah.
It's tough when it's windy like this. Sometimes the putter's a little scary to throw.
David giving him a bid there.
Nice putt.
Beautiful.
Good finish.
Definitely. That's a good feeling right there at the end of the tournament. Always want to finish on a bird.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
man.
You know, I take it back. I think Mike is actually he threw a putter on the last 2 holes.
Okay.
It's that same disc he just putt.
These guys are just absolutely killing the putts on this last hole. Look at this. Right over the lip, but always going in.
Putting on a show.
Oh, my goodness. Pretty successful last hole. really picturesque drive again. Look at that. Love it. Well, guys, thanks so much for tuning in. I've got a couple people to thank here. Definitely Shane Kruse with Cruise Altitude for the drone footage. Thanks so much, man. He went out there all by himself and shot some serious stuff for us, and it turned out really great. We appreciate it. The amazing tournament director, Trevor Boney. Thanks for letting us film, man. Randy, the owner of the camp. Oh, excuse me. Randy, the owner of Camp Maiden Rock, I believe it's called. Thanks so much for letting us come out and use your course, man. It's been a really fun time. And then also our good friends at UDisc. Always got to give them a shout out. So thanks so much for joining me in the studio, Scott, man. This was fun.
Absolutely, anytime. Like what you guys are doing, and can't wait to see what you guys come up with next.
Absolutely. Keep watching, guys. We've got some good stuff coming up this summer.